Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, snap, y'all. Okay, so I don't know how this podcast episode is going to come out, but I will be talking about when personal and business mix. And it's not a good thing. A lot of people say, yo, it's not business, it's just personal. But man, can we just be honest and say that a lot of times our personal issues really impact what's going on with our business? We could try as much as we want to. And I've said this so many times. Who you are personally is who you are professionally. If you're a procrastinator in your personal life, all of a sudden, because you got a business in front of you where you can make a lot of money, you're not all of a sudden going to become an organized time fanatic. You're still going to find yourself procrastinating. And so, but it's deeper than that. I'm talking about even your relationships with people. So I'll be talking about some decisions I made and some bloopers, where I, messed up. But I'm also going to be talking about some things that I've just observed in people and experiences that I've had. And I hope that you glean from these experiences and learn from them. Hopefully I catch you before you end up making some of the same kinds of mistakes. So, the first one, really basic. My husband was listening to this brother on this podcast, and he had this really phenomenal product, and it was an app. And he was like, oh, man, as he was listening to the dude describe it and what it does, we all in this support Black-owned business mode to a whole nother other degree. And he was going to invest with it. And then at the end, the brother was like, yeah, but just don't be all in my DM burning me up and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father, I got kids and things like that. I got plenty of things that I'm doing right now. I can't be just turning around and responding to everybody every 5 minutes. And I was like, what? So needless to say, my husband said, forget it. And he didn't sign up for it. He probably thought that he was talking like a boss, showing that he a busy man and he got authority and all of that stuff. But it's like, no, bruh. What you should have been saying is something more along the lines of, okay, you guys, I'm really excited about this. I know and I believe that it's going to take off. But please remember that I am a family man and a father first. And I'm going to make sure that I'm on top of all of your all's requests. Be patient when you DM me. Please give me ample amount of time to respond. It's going to take me at least, 72 hours. Give me 3 business days. You know what I'm saying? Something along that effect. And so that seems like it's small, but who you are personally and how you communicate, and if you bring that lax type of lifestyle to your business, you tripping, right? Because in business, there's a level, an air, and a posture that you should have that is more professional. and concerned about your clients. And see, when I'm saying professional, I ain't talking about Brooks Brothers suit, and I'm not talking about you sounding like Bob or, I'm sounding like Becky. I'm talking about the way you present yourself and how you are customer oriented. You are always thinking about them and their needs and the way that things smooth down over easy. So he has no idea, but I'm sure he's messed up more business than he could ever imagine. And hopefully someone who personally knows that brother that heard what he said may come back and say, hey, yo, bro, please don't do that again when you got another audience of people listening to you. Because the guy that his podcast that he was featured on has a lot of followers. Okay, so that's one thing. I use myself as an example. Many of you know that I host summits and they are phenomenal. Well, I did 2 summits in 2017. And my first summit, I was really proud of myself. And it's the same format that I use for all of my summits today. I had my niche wasn't as clear, it wasn't as many attendees. I didn't make as much money and sell as many passes as I want to, but it was a good go. The second one, oh man, I made money straight out the gate. I had excellent speakers. It was a great experience, but I started dealing with a lot of personal BS, dealing with women, people and their attitudes. And I found myself being like, I don't even feel like being bothered with all of these women, all this stuff. And I remember being so upset that I decided I wasn't going to do summits anymore. That was me taking shit personal. No matter how you slice it, dice it, cut it, it was me taking shit personal. And you want to know what? From those first 2 summits, I had enough income to sustain me literally for 2 years. But I realized at about the 1.5 year mark that my funnel for bringing people to me wasn't going and growing as fast. And I had to go back and look at the patterns and what had changed and how often I was launching, what my following was looking like. And I was like, dang it, I put myself in dire straits because I stopped doing summits. And I had to sit back and I had to reflect on what needed to change with me and how could I have better business practices. What other things should I include in writing in my contract to make sure that the relationships were, strictly professional and I prevented people from feeling comfortable doing, certain kind of things to me. And then I came back out with a vengeance and I've been back, doing my summits ever since then. And yeah, the top of 2019 kicked off too. Already had one in 2020 and ready to have another one. I've been doing them I'm on my 6th summit now, but it's a great thing. It's something that I actually really love doing. I love the summits. I just didn't like the drama that I was dealing with the women. But as a business owner, I let the personal come in between the business, and my personal feelings caused me to stop doing something, executing as something that was highly beneficial for lead generation for my business. So you see what I'm saying? I ain't always talking about you became business besties and best friends, and then you and a girlfriend have an issue. I'm talking about just personal, period. Who you are personally literally may be fucking up your business. I'm using myself as an example. I have no problem with that. And you could, because I want you to be introspective and use yourself as an example. So here goes another one. I had this amazing group back in 2017, a great group of women. My business group was called Real Talk for Business, and I kept a decent income coming in. First of all, and this wasn't the high ticket moneymaker, but it's at least a good $2,500 to $3,000, depending on how many people were in there and what level they were on, that I was generating monthly just from that. And then those people would eventually convert to one-to-one. So, that would skyrocket my income. In addition to the fact I was still selling books, in addition to the fact that I was still doing one-off classes and stuff like this. And so my business income had actually skyrocketed. But at the end of the day, I didn't have the guidance. I jumped out there and I had faith. And I'm going to be real honest with you. All of the different type of coaches that I had hired, none of them were really trying to dissect my business model the way that I saw it and the way that I felt led to serve, because I'm a I'm a human-based person. I want the human element in my business. I can't just make this strictly, I ain't never involved in nothing, because to me, coaching requires intimacy. But what I was really doing was I was in that group serving so much. I would be in there almost every day. And I would be answering questions and connecting with the women. And as long as they were doing the work, that shit felt good. When they started slacking off and getting kind of antsy, I was like the coach who wanted to be like, look, you the fuck off the team or go sit on the bench or something like that, and I would find myself so frustrated. And it was also deeper than that, because I was noticing that there were patterns that were coming up in my life based on the relationships that I had with other women that were close to me. And when I thought we were making progress, I even went inside of the group and had a conversation with them of saying, look, I want things with us to, be good. I want them to be great. And I don't want this to look like something that's manifested, from my family. But anyway, what I ended up doing is, because they was bullshitting around, I was like, look, if they ain't gonna pay to be one-to-one and give good value for me, I ain't serving them no more. So I told them, I said, I'm only taking X amount of people to be one-to-one clients, and I'm closing this group. And this group will be done with, and I gave them a specific date. And some of the women were sad. They were like, oh, I wish that you would keep it going. But August, we understand why you're going to stop. And even though they said they understood, they probably had their little powwow discussions on the background. It doesn't matter. But nobody ever really asked me. But at the end of the day, I really should have kept the group. I should have kept the group, and I should have changed the boundaries. What I was about to suffer from, which it didn't look like it for me, like it looks for most women, was basically burnout. It was one of those things, it's very a fine line, because a lot of women, when you think burnout, you think, oh my God, I'm just ready to give up on my business and I disappear. For me, it wasn't like that, because I'm like, if this is too draining for me, then fuck it, I'm just gonna let it go. When actually what I should have done is modified it, and some of the people might have left, or maybe some of the people would have stayed. And I did try to modify a little bit, and started pulling back and saying, on Sundays and Thursdays, I won't be in here at all. And, it may take me this amount of time to respond. But it was also deeper than that. It was the resentment, because I wanted to fast track people in a group coaching program. And I had to realize that, what, when you do group, it's not about allowing people to get lost in the shuffle, but don't have such high expectations, because the people that pay me one-to-one, they are the ones who crank out that work. They're paying at a much higher price point, and they don't have time to play. And so I had to restore my group, and I did. And I ended up bringing it back. So now I do fix my business. But I had to realize that personally, I was too vested in. Okay, this is where the personal comes in. I was so vested in what was going on that I didn't realize that I had too much stake in the people, and I needed to fall back and let them move at their own pace. Because at the end of the day, they were still excited. They were learning so much from me, and they had gotten so much clarity. They were telling me that they had paid thousands of dollars for what I was only charging them a couple $100s a month for. And still they had no clarity with those other programs. And so me and my relationships and looking at people, I had to learn as a coach, how to regulate my emotions and my expectations. Do you need to do something like that? Okay. So now let's get off of me. Y'all all up in my business, okay? But then it will help you understand, though, why I'm the kind of coach that I am today. You'll get an understanding of where my patience, and my compassion comes from, because I realized that it was me not growing was detrimental to my business. And so I'm still no nonsense, balls to the wall, don't play, get your work done. But I've been able to significantly fall back and make sure that I'm not putting my expectations on someone else, because my responsibility is to guide you to what you want, and then respect the way that you're moving. As long as you're not trying to get anything extra from me to compensate for when you lagging, procrastinating, or whatever. Hey, it's a group program. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. And because of that, I've been able to successfully launch a DIY program. And I still go into that group and allow them to do a Q&A call with me, monthly or whatever. But yeah, it's just I'm nowhere near drained, and it's running on autopilot, and the ladies in there, and they're absolutely freaking loving it. Quick plug, you all should join the Authentic Collective Academy. I'm just saying, it's only $100 a month, and you are going to get blessed with so many freaking jewels, learning how to do challenges, create posts, solidify your ideal client. Oh man, it's so much. Okay, but bring it back. So this last one, You know how some people will tell you if you're going to be a business owner, you shouldn't discuss, politics and religion and stuff like that. Or you've heard that on jobs where, this is not the environment for that. And some people take that into the entrepreneurial sphere. And to a degree, there's some truth to that. And in today's current climate, a lot of relationships are getting messed up. There's some people that could have collaborated together that cannot and will not now because every other word is, oh, you a racist. No, you a racist. Or so Black lives matter. No, all lives matter. And so what, you a Trump lover, you a Trump. So it's just ugly. It's ugly in these streets. People, are you not going to wear a mask? Oh, you stupid because you wearing a mask. Just a lot of drama out there in these streets. Well, I recently had a back and forth with somebody on a post. And this was somebody that I quote unquote respected. And it was also somebody that I had a professional relationship with. And when I tell you that this person was obviously triggered, and I'm going to do a more extensive detailed one about this one. Y'all know how sometimes I have to read the commentary. I got to read the post so y'all can just see how ratchet this entire thing got. No matter how much I tried to explain it and calm the situation down, after me commenting 2 times, I was like, I'm done. But anyway, this person, she began to strike and attack. And, she was so concerned about making sure her opinion about a situation and personal viewpoint was expressed that she messed up a business relationship with me because now I have no desire to work with her anymore. And so I don't care. I literally don't care what she thinks, but I'm not having it. I had another person, which actually I wouldn't work with her, but she's worked with me in the past. And she's also told people how great her experience was with me. But she went on this whole rant about how racism and abortion are the same. And we had a little bit of back and forth and some conversation on a post. And I was like, wow, okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But it was the point in the manner in which I felt like, okay, whether you realize it or not, this is what you're calling me. And that's a whole nother story, how Christians don't realize that you can't keep on looking at somebody like, oh, you committed and had an abortion, so you a sinner, or, that you had a baby out of wedlock, or you in a relationship and you not married, and how they always think that they talking to the sin and not the person. If the person's committing the quote unquote, which I don't get in all that, y'all already know I don't go for all that Christian condemnation bullshit. But because of that, I was just like, oh, well, unfriend her. I didn't block her. You know what I'm saying? But I unfriended her because it's like, you know what? Deuces, fuck you. So anyway, you guys, your personal opinions, your behaviors, your conversations, it's going to get clouded. And if you're not careful, you're going to make decisions, mess up business opportunities, or potentially push people away. And so I just want you all to make sure that energetically you all are watching what you're consuming, paying attention to what you're listening to. Have the courageous conversations, but just acknowledge them for what they are and don't let it affect your overall position in business. Okay? Because it really does get crazy in these streets. And some of you may not be making money right now because you have a character flaw in just who you are as a person. And you don't realize that it's impacting how people perceive you and how you even show up in your business. Okay. So listen. Building a business takes a lot. And there's so many moving parts. And there are a lot of things that people used to do that they got away from. Like, I don't want to do no challenges online. Okay. Well, now that we are an online world, you might want to get back to doing those challenges again. You know what I'm saying? But do you understand the psychology about how to create a challenge? You guys got to be posting. You've got to say, the right things. You got to know how to market yourself. Do you really understand how those things are formulated? Narrowing down that niche, tightening it up, knowing how to perceive and read behaviors from people that are in the online arena, knowing how to create your email series and so many other, even your sales strategy, all these things. Guess what? You need to get help. And don't allow money to be a barrier for you. The Authentic Collective Academy has been set up to make sure you have community camaraderie and you get the knowledge that you need in order to start shifting and transition in your business. And it's only $100 a month. Go to aclive.co, join the community for free, and then select the academy or just click the link that's down here and go straight there. It's time for you to make a transition. And it's time for you to work with a coach that actually gives a damn about how they show up and how they relate to you. And they're not just absorbed with the fact that they're smart as hell and they've created an amazing process. I am a community and people-driven coach. Coaching for me requires intimacy. So even at that lowest tier, you're going to have access to me and you're going to climb and you're going to soar more than you ever imagined. So I'll be looking for you on the other side. Talk to you later. Deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in